we wanted to put a greenhouse in, or gardens.
Yeah.
Or veggie gardens, to be
And,
precise.
and protect it from the birds and the bats.
So we bought the property, had the house, had the shed, had a little shed here, which we expanded on for the cat. Had a little tiny wood shed at the back. Well, it was a little tiny garden shed, so we made it into a wood shed. But it didn't really have any area for the greenhouse. Trying to save the flatter part of our land that we got, we thought, right, we'll put it at the back there where the garden shed is.
So we have a frame sitting there that we can repurpose for a greenhouse quite perfectly, really.
Because when we got married, we thought it was only $200 more expensive to actually buy the marquee than to rent one. And then we're going like, okay, cool, if we buy it, we can resell it.
And then disaster pretty much struck the week before the wedding.
Yep.
We set it up to test it, make sure it was all good. And a massive storm came through and lifted it off the ground. And
wrapped it around a tree.
Yeah, and an electric fence. So the next week that was essentially just going to be getting the gardens ready was you and our dad's spot welding it all back together and soldering all the lights back together.
Yeah, that's because we ripped the solar lights out.
We put the fairy lights up as well, just to get a vibe.
And then the other thing there is that since the marquee was white plastic and all that sort of stuff, it did get ripped and damaged.
Yeah.
So that was when we finished with it. We got rid of that part.
It has essentially meant that we weren't able to sell it on. So the idea is we're going to flatten the ground, level it out. We're going to then figure out steps and access, get the frame up, get some water up running, garden beds, and then we'll put the shade mesh on the outside. So we'll move the guinea pigs in there.
And then we're tossing up with whether do we cut down to try to make the space...
Cut into the hill and make it flat, or use fill and flatten it that way.
So we started with putting a little tiny retainer wall that's cemented in with Besser blocks across the back of the shed, and then we dug in a couple of pipelines to actually catch more water, and then we finally chased up and we got 10 tonne of fill in. Look at that. That's only a small fella.
Only small. It's not. There we go. He's small compared to the other ones, isn't he?
Yeah. That's why we need to get rid of it. Look at it. Yeah, I know. It's shocking. Because as soon as I got in there, I saw that stuff coming out. I thought, they're down there. Yep. They're that low. So it definitely would have been that one, which would have been the worst one, which would have fell that way. Yeah.
So we started to realise how big of a space we were working with. This is
a little
getting
bit big.
Bigger than Ben Hur. Yeah.
You know, in that little thing there, I started off with what we want to do with the wood shed, which is down the track further. We need to get the greenhouse done first. And then after the greenhouse, we'll probably do the chicken coop at the back.
Yeah.
And a little
I
orchard
guess
part around it.
making sure it works in with all the plans that we do have for the future as well.
Huge. We don't want the greenhouse to be on dirt, so we want to try to get the grass in there and make sure that we're not working in mud or anything like that. Not that we've got any rain at the moment. So we've got another 10 tonne of crusher dust. I can come up that hill. Just drove straight up that bank.
Really?
With bloody 10 tonne of crusher dust on the back. How good is that for compaction?
It's actually not too bad, really.
Considering that's 10 plus the truck, so yeah. And that's all I want to do today. It's only one more month of winter, and it's bloody shorts, t-shirts and thong weather. We should have bloody cut it. On the plus side, I don't know. I don't know. We're start of August, so that means I'm only 2 months behind schedule for you.
It's better than the 7 years behind schedule that we're
I think I'm 5 years behind schedule now, aren't I?
nearly.
Yeah, so I'm 5 years behind schedule from when we moved in for what we're actually supposed to do, and then yeah, we're 2 months behind schedule from what you wanted. But what I like to say is that I'm planning to have this done in the next 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks.
I thought you were about to say years.
Should I say 5 or 6 weeks? 6 or 7 weeks? 7 to 8 weeks.
I'm just glad.
In about
you didn't
9 to
say
10
years.
weeks' time, this should be done. Actually, no, that's a lie, because yeah, it's literally going like, go big or go home. We're at home, so we might as well go big now. Probably makes a lot more sense if we move it 1 metre back this way here. It's framing time! It's typical, everything changes.
Because the idea is we'll have the steps sweeping around here, and then to the right over there will be the ramp, so we can take a barrow up if we need to.
And then it's good because I actually have to cut here, which is fine because I don't have to cut this corner here, but then I'll have to cut for these two steps to go, these two planks to go in for the ramp. I'm just wondering how much do I dig in up there, or do I just cut and taper it? It's always another 2 steps to do before I can do the step that I want to do. Before I actually go too much further, I need to dig another trench to put water in. Chase up the new tow rail and redo the the mount for the hose. I definitely need something a lot stronger. That's okay. And then the other part there is that that hose is just too short. I've got a kink in it to join it up.
Come on.
That's because I want this way above 600 to join it, but you know, just joins. Then I've got a kink. So it'd be okay for a little bit, but
Are you happy?
it's like anything. As you build it,
It evolves.
it evolves.
You've done a really good job, as always. When you set out, what did you want to achieve?
Hey Chris, can you build me a greenhouse? Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh really? Oh really? As opposed to, you know, skimping on it now and then forever
Did we have
being.
that discussion, or did our neighbour just convince you of that?
No, we had that
I'm
discussion.
pretty sure that was with our neighbour.
No, we had that discussion. Anyhow, the other wife said, God, I hope it comes together.
It will. It will.